Welcome to Life After Work. My name is Solomon. I kind of doing a small follow-up to my previous video, my last video, where I made several mistakes. Okay, for you guys that think that every modeler is perfect, well, I'm here to tell you I'm not. And I have just discovered a mistake that I made months ago. My 5-inch guns, I looked at the instructions. I thought it said I was supposed to drill out the barrels, and they were so tiny I didn't see how I could do that. I was supposed to cut the barrels off, drill out the rest of it, and put brass barrels in. Well, I've gone through everything I have for this model. There should be 20 barrels. And truthfully, there's not one brass barrel in this entire kit. I missed the fact that the kit didn't include the barrels. So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to use the styrene barrels. They're going to stay right where they are. But I just want you to know, doesn't matter how, and I do inventory of every model that I open. And I've gone back through my inventories, I've gone back through the boxes, I've gone through the storage compartment, every place I keep anything for this model, and I'm very meticulous about that. When you do 2,000 part models, you have to be very meticulous. So anyway, I can't find the barrels, so they never got included in this model. So I'm going to have to use the original styrene barrels, and quite frankly I have to clean them up because they're very thin, they're very flimsy. I'll just clean them up a little, and when they're painted up, put on the model, I don't think anyone will notice. I'll notice because I screwed up. That's just, you know, that's a fact of life. When you do that and you don't pay attention, things happen and you just have to live with it. So anyway, that's enough of that rant, and I'll just see if I can move on and get this model out. Okay guys, I went back and looked at my box opening video on the USS New Jersey, and sure enough there was a whole package of brass parts that included my barrels and a number of other parts. So when I did my inventory, at least I did my inventory correctly at the time, which is always a concern because sometimes I think I do things and then I don't remember. The beauty of videoing these things and putting these models together, you can go back and check. I did that. So now the search is on. My wife mentioned that maybe they're in another box. I did a couple of box openings of ships. The Missouri was one of them. If it was out at the time, I might have stuck it in there. So now I'm going to be going through model boxes and checking to see if I put all those brass pieces in a different box. Slows the process down, but no slower than all that flash and cleanup, so I'm off and running. I had it in my mind that the 16-inch guns were going to have brass barrels, but as you know, I couldn't find any brass barrels in my box. Well, I decided to look around, basically in the other model boxes. So I pulled every open model down, pulled the top off, and checked them. And you'll never believe this. No brass barrels. Okay, so I was getting pretty frustrated and about ready to order, call Revell and ask him if I could get another set of all the brass parts. Well, I was sitting down here at the low table. This is where I do most of the brass work and the photo etch especially. And I was just looking, maybe I thought to myself, maybe I just reached up here and set it on one of these shelves to get it off the tabletop. So I was standing here going through every shelf. Now let me give you the view that I had as I was looking. So here I am standing in front of my low table looking up here at these shelves, and I looked everywhere I could. I even moved a couple of the trains around a little bit because it's been a long time since I'd even forgotten that I had brass parts. I did go back to my box opening video, and there it was right on top, a package full of brass pieces. And I inventoried them right off the instructions, so I knew I had them. But for those who've watched my videos, you know I've had a bit of a problem with my brain since my stroke. So I'd forgotten completely about them. Now, have you seen them yet? Do you know where they are? Okay, well let me help you. You see them now, right there in front of us. For some reason, I hung them on a peg up there, maybe to get them off the tabletop. I don't know. I don't even remember doing it. But they've been hanging there ever since. So I have all my brass barrels, and I can now get back to work. And what exactly is that work going to be like with these brass barrels? This is one of the 16-inch guns. Okay, I've got to cut this off right here, drill this piece out, and put a brass barrel in it. And I've got to do that 9 times. Got 3 mounts, 3 barrels each. So that's pretty easy, because this is a nice size. Now for the 5-inch 38s. This is where I got confused in my last video. I was wondering how I was going to handle this. Well, there they are, the 2 barrels. And in the instructions, I clearly have to cut those barrels off, drill out this piece in 2 places, and put small brass barrels in it. Well, that's good, because I really didn't want to work with this super small, super thin plastic. So there we go. So I'm going to get back on these 5-inch 38s. I'll be cutting barrels off, doing a lot of drilling, sticking new barrels on, and all I have to do is get that pack down, now that I remember where they are, and pull out the barrels. And there should be, see, there are 10 5-inch 38s, so that makes 20 barrels that have to be removed, 20 holes drilled and 20 barrels put back in. So I'm off and running. I'll go ahead and post this just to let everybody know that even when you think you've got everything fairly clear in your mind, things happen. I did a full inventory. I knew I had done a full inventory, therefore I should have known that I had everything that I needed in the way of barrels, and I completely forgot about it and didn't even know where they were. So enough said, time to get back to work. Bye, and thanks for watching.